All right, it is Monday and I'm Max Dadlift. Spent basically all day in the sun yesterday, and I'm still feeling it today. My warm-up reps are moving slow, and I just feel run down. So we've got 500 pounds on the bar. We're not going to do a lot of volume like we have been in the past couple weeks. I'm just going to do, I don't know, three to five singles of it, and then we're going to. I haven't benched in like 3 months, so I've got my bench out, and we're going to try to see if we can do a couple sets at just 185 on the bench. Because I have to pick it up from the floor and then finagle it up, so I don't want to use too much weight. But we'll do a little bit of heavy work, and then we'll just play around a little bit. It's a fun day. It's a short week. We got the 4th of July on Friday, so I probably won't be lifting on Friday anyhow. If I do, it'll be really, like a heavy single, and that's it. So yeah, it just seemed like a good week to deload a little bit. Two. So it's a good opportunity to remind y'all, consistency beats intensity. So it's more important that we're out here doing something today than it is. It's more important that we're doing something as opposed to doing something impressive. So we're not gonna, knock the wheels off of it every workout, but just maintaining that consistency and the regularity about it is more valuable, in my opinion. Chop wood, carry water kind of thing. So I don't want to come off as pretentious or hoity-toity or anything, but there has been a little bit of, thinking in the background. So there's a part in Friedrich Nietzsche's Thus Spake Zarathustra, where he talks about the three metamorphoses of the spirit. And those three stages are the camel, the lion, and the child. And you're like, what do these things have in common? But what it basically boils down to is, the camel lives in a desert. There's no resources, there's no comfort, and there's no end in sight. Yet he's there and he carries everything, carries every load given to him, the heaviest burdens, even though he didn't ask for them, even though they're not necessarily his burdens. And that's kind of the first stage where everybody spends their life, obligation, duty, expectations from family, that sort of thing. And then eventually the camel, has enough of it. If somebody, some people spend their whole lives as the camel. But then some people eventually have enough, and they move on to the second metamorphosis of the spirit, called the lion. And that's basically where the lion's like, you know what? I'm not going to do this shit anymore. He talks about fighting a great dragon with golden scales and on every single scale is written the phrase "Thou shalt," and those are all the expectations that are put on you from outside, without. And the lion fights that dragon, saying, I'm not taking on these burdens anymore. And then eventually, after the fight, the spirit goes to the child. And that's where you've got that sense of playback, and you start finding out, creating meaning for yourself, finding out what's important to you, what's valuable to you. Yeah, I'm just thinking, what burdens are you carrying that maybe you're not even aware of, but they're not yours, and you don't necessarily need to be carrying them? How does this play in the novice, intermediate, and advanced lifter thing? Novice lifters, they follow programs and they train the way they're told to train. Intermediate lifters, they start to get a little bit more of a, that doesn't work for me, I'm not going to do that. And then when you're advanced, custom programming. You start writing your own stuff, getting a coach who doesn't necessarily follow the recipe, because the recipe will only get you so far. There's that whole first 20 years of life or so, maybe 30 even, you spend trying to learn the rules of the game and how to play it. And eventually you kind of find that those rules, or even the game itself, rubs on you wrong way, rubs on the soul. Corporate bureaucracy and regulations and stuff kind of help exacerbate that. Kind of rambling, not really sure where I'm going with this yet. but it's something I've been wrestling with today, and it's just kind of on the back burner in my mind as I'm going about my business. You guys ever feel like that? Like there's a fight that you should be fighting, but you don't know where it is or what it is? You just feel underutilized? All right, feeling okay. Let's get this last one out. Whew. So two things you're gonna notice during this is one, I'm not a naturally good presser. My bench ain't great. And two, I haven't actually done a bench press since February. So this might be a little wonky. Another thing I'd like you to notice while I'm doing this, I don't have the collars on here. That's on purpose. There's a little bit of risk on me dumping the bar. But what that's compensating for is I'm not gonna get stuck under it. If I have to bail out, I can. I think Goob does this for like 315 pounds. If you don't know who Goob is, it's worth checking out. Some dude on Instagram who calls out liars and photoshoppers. Let's see how this goes. So this might not be an ideal exercise because it's a lot of weight to get in the rack position to actually bench, but then once I'm there, it's not heavy enough to make 5 reps challenging. So maybe I should do 8 to 12 or something. We'll see how 8 feels. The issue is I'm not doing, not doing this at 275 without a lot of practice on just getting the barbell up. That seems to be the learning curve here. All right. It's enough pussyfooting around, huh? Hey. 8 felt good. 8 felt okay there. All right. One, two. Yeah, that's good. That's good enough. All right. Seems like a good stopping point for today. I'm gonna put my toys up, but as always, thank you for joining me. Catch you Wednesday for overhead press. And yeah, I think it's gonna be RDLs this week. So it'll be a fun one. And then Wednesday or Friday, either no video or a short video. Anyway, I hope you have a fantastic 4th of July, and hope you're not at work this week. If you are, I am too. But hopefully it's a short one. See ya.